So in the build-up to my most hyped movie of 2024, Deadpool and Wolverine, I thought I would do something a little bit different. This is a retro playlist that's going to look at any feature-length movie that features Deadpool or Wolverine as its central character. And you know what? X-Men Origins Wolverine is today's subject, and we gotta start somewhere. We really gotta start somewhere. But this was Fox's attempt to start doing what the MCU was starting to do the year before. This came out in the year 2009. The X-Men movies were hugely successful. That first trilogy was fantastic. And they started to get the idea of basically, hey, let's see the origin stories of every single member of this team. And monetarily speaking, not a bad idea. If only this movie was better, though. So we follow Logan, played by Hugh Jackman, because who else could play this part? He's seeking solace from his dark past, and he seems to have found love and contentment with a woman named Caleb. But Logan's peaceful existence is shattered when his vicious brother, played by Liev Schreiber, brutally murders Kayla. Logan's thirst for revenge propels him into the Weapon X program, where he undergoes a painful procedure to bond his bones with adamantium, making him virtually indestructible and more than a match for his brother. Now let me just start by saying this. Yes, a lot of people consider Origins Wolverine to be one of the worst movies of all time, one of the worst superhero movies of all time. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say that. This is definitely a horrible movie. Like, I cannot dispute that, and I'll get into the reasons why this movie sucks so incredibly hard. But there's one thing above all else that keeps this movie above F level for me. That is Hugh Jackman's performance and his effort that's being thrown into this. I respect this guy so much as a performer. No matter what he's going through in his life, he will make time for his craft. And he will make time for his work, and he will make time to entertain the audiences for a little bit. And you know what? I gotta give him mad props for that, because he is absolutely ripped in this thing. The performance itself isn't even that bad. It's just the material and everything else surrounding him that just was not up to snuff. First of all, the action and the direction of said action. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen worse camera work around action sequences. And it's not like the action and the choreography is all that remarkable either. Like, you didn't even have to edit out the wires that some people are flying with. You can definitely tell. Gravity is not a rule or a law in X-Men Origins Wolverine. Like, throw that completely out the window. Which is ironic, because this movie was trying to market itself as a realistic interpretation of a Wolverine story. And here they are with some really shitty CGI and horrendous gravity rules. Better yet, the non-existence of gravity. It's also very apparent that when Hugh Jackman is slicing and dicing his brother, when he's slicing and dicing the merc with the mouth, it's very apparent that this movie needed that R rating. If Fox wanted to make this movie stand out above the rest of the X-Men movies, like, this could have been what Deadpool turned into 7 years later. And who knows, there might not have been a need for those two Deadpool movies had this movie not sucked so bad. Like, when Logan is tearing up Victor in this movie, like when he's digging his claws into the shoulders, you should see some blood there, right? But no. You don't see any blood at all, because PG-13, you want to make sure the teenagers can go and see this. And I don't even think the claws look that great. It looks legitimately like someone went into Windows Movie Maker and did a draft of what the claws would look like, but then they just didn't go back in post and edit it to finish it off. Like, it looks so second-rate and so Bush League. The other performances in this movie aren't really that much home to write about either. Liev Schreiber, I usually love in other movies, but I just found him incredibly over the top. Lynn Collins is serviceable enough, but it just didn't really feel to be like her and Hugh Jackman had that great a chemistry on screen either. And let's also address this. This movie was trying to, like, imagine if you're watching that first Spider-Man movie in 2002. You remember that scene where Tobey Maguire is standing in front of the mirror and he's like, whoa, yep. Big changes going on here, Aunt May. They were trying to do that with Logan. Logan's not that type of character that you do that goofy shit with. I'm thinking of the scene where he is using his claws for the first time and he's tearing up a bathroom. And they're really trying to play this for comedy, and it's just not hitting at all. Like, there's way too many attempts at some second-rate D-level comedy in this movie. Hugh Jackman, for example, as Wolverine going in to fight this big, gigantic, fat blob. Yeah, like, what the hell are you doing with Logan in this, man? Like, you're showing me a whole gigantic opening credits montage of Logan and his brother going to various wars throughout history. How cool would it have been to see Logan in a Civil War environment with his brother? How cool would it have been to see him in a World War I setting, All Quiet on the Western Front meets X-Men? That sounds awesome. And it's almost like the director in the movie was teasing you that you could be watching a better movie with those opening credits, but no. You get all this bullshit after, including the whole reason why I decided to include this movie on the playlist. Let's talk about Ryan Reynolds as Wade Wilson / Weapon 11. I mean, that really says it all, doesn't it? That reaction. Why do you have to so shut the mouth on the merc with the mouth? Like, just look at this image right here and explain to me if this is a man that has his dignity on set. I could just tell that Ryan Reynolds was so pissed off doing this movie, because I'm sure that Ryan Reynolds knew the potential of the character of Deadpool and he knew what this character could be. Weapon 11 was not it. Like, seriously, whose genius idea was it to take away all of Wade Wilson's dialogue around the halfway point? The jokes and the ad-libs and the crudeness is what makes Deadpool Deadpool to me. Imagine if you took away Captain America's shield. The character probably would be a lot lamer, wouldn't it? Imagine if you took away Doctor Strange's magic. Character would probably be a lot lamer. Imagine if you took away Batman and all of his compelling backstory. Imagine if you took away the fact that Batman's parents were murdered. Imagine if you took away Batman's whole aura. Character would probably be a lot lamer, wouldn't it? You get the picture. They took away Deadpool's ability to ad-lib. They took away Deadpool's ability to joke. They made him a silent assassin, which absolutely does not work. And that whole action sequence on the smokestack, like, that's the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Not only is it super lame 360-degree angle CGI mess, there's just so many quick jump cuts in these action sequences to begin with. Like, I'm sitting here legitimately wondering, did Kevin Dunn work on this movie at all? Because this honestly feels like I'm watching 2018 WWE right now. Like, I can't tell what the f*** is going on. So yeah, X-Men Origins Wolverine. I mean, if you want to say that this is the worst superhero movie of all time, I'm totally okay with that. Objectively speaking, I can't sit here and say that this is the God's honest worst just because of Hugh Jackman. And I respect him way too much as a performer and the work that he puts into this role. If it wasn't for his involvement, X-Men Origins Wolverine would probably be one of my least favorite movies of all time. Like, again, I'm trying to wrap my head around how you could take Deadpool, one of the funniest comic book characters ever, and this is how you treat him in his feature movie debut. I'm honestly kind of glad this movie exists for that reason, because if you didn't have the disastrous turnout for Deadpool like this, then you wouldn't get the glory that Deadpool 1 and 2 are, and you wouldn't get the glory that is bound to be Deadpool and Wolverine. For a start to this playlist, I had to start at rock bottom, didn't I? I'm gonna give X-Men Origins Wolverine a D-. Only reason it's not an F, like I said, is because of Hugh Jackman's work. But everything else about this hunk of garbage just drops the ball. Let me know if you guys have any memories of checking this movie out in the theaters down in the comment section below. If you did, I apologize. I apologize that you had to spend your money on this. But stay tuned for more videos very soon as we go along in this new playlist. I'm trying something a little bit different in the build-up to Deadpool and Wolverine. It's my most hyped movie of the year. Next up on this playlist, we're going to look at what happens when James Mangold steps into the director's chair. We're going to look at the 2013 iteration of the Wolverine movie. That should be a fun one to check out because I've actually never seen that. That was probably around the time where I was too pissed off at Origins to really give that movie a chance. So if you want to keep up to date with Deadpool and Wolverine content in addition to all new things in the cinematic world, this is a great channel to become a part of. Do consider subscribing if you haven't already. Tap on that thumbs up as well. That would be awesome. Y'all are the best, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and going through some catharsis with me. With all that being said, commence that back talk.